What the weirdest thing you did while you were high? I set a hot pocket in the microwave and put in my pin number for the cook time. One time years ago I was camping at a campground with my wife and a few friends. We are all sitting around the fire drinking. Her brother and I go for a walk to smoke some joints. We finish that and I have to piss, so he goes back to the group, and when I'm done I head back as well. So I get back and I'm pretty baked at this point, and I'm just standing there watching the fire and drinking my beer for a few minutes. I then noticed a particular Coleman lantern on the picnic table and thought to myself, I don't remember us having one of those here. It was at that point that I realized I was standing at the wrong damned campsite amongst a bunch of people I have never met, while my group was watching from the next site over, laughing and wondering WTF I was doing. Freaked out that I'd lost my iPad somewhere on the way to the train station. I got off the train and went back, retracing my steps all the way back to my apartment, only to realize that I was listening to music the whole time on my iPad. Was hotboxing and used my windshield wipers to try and clear the smoke. I used to go round a friend's every week to watch a particular TV show and get stoned. On about the 4th week my friend started going crazy, like he'd had this sudden major epiphany. They've got the same names as us. It had been 4 episodes and neither of us had noticed the 2 main characters had the same names as us. That was proper weird. Edit. So many people trying to guess my name. I'm Rumpelstiltskin y'all. Got up to leave my bedroom and knocked on the door before opening it to go out. Spent 45 minutes looking for my glasses with my friend. Said fuck it BC I had to leave and was now running late. When I went to put on my sunglasses I smashed them onto my glasses. I had my glasses on my fucking face the whole time and neither myself or my friend noticed. I was on acid at a music festival and asked a cop if he would name a hurricane after me. Fortunately he thought that was funny. Ordered food for delivery. Forgot. Went to grocery store for stuff to BBQ. Remembered about the food for delivery while paying in line. One time I came back inside from a back porch smoke and put my lighter in the sink. My reasoning was I'll put it in the dishwasher later. It's not that weird, but I get really weird sensations when in high. Other people probably get it too, but I just don't know how to describe it. But one time I was just rubbing my leg a little because I was cold and my friend was sitting next to me. So then I was like, well, I can feel my hand and I can feel my leg. I wonder if I can feel hers. So I rubbed her leg and was like, wow, I can't feel it. And I didn't really understand why. My friend just laughed at how stupid I was. LMAO. Eating yogurt with a fork in front of my parents. My dad waited for about 10 minutes to say that a spoon might make it easier. Completely freaked out because everyone around me was speaking a foreign language and I couldn't understand anything. Note to self, don't get high in a foreign country. I came home crossfaded one night, easily the most intoxicated I'd ever been. I walked into the living room and pushed the TV to the back of the table. Instead of the couch I sat down where the TV used to be and stared at the couch silently, alone, and in the pitch black darkness for at least 30 seconds before saying out loud, so this is what it's like to be a TV. I realized then I'd had way too much and went to bed before I hurt myself. A few years ago I was on shrooms with some friends and we went on a walk to smoke a cig. Every time I took a puff of my cigarette, I was expecting to taste Mountain Dew, and I was disappointed every time that it didn't. I quit smoking cigs a few days after that. Ate a whole bowl of cereal with a fork. Took me like 2 minutes to figure out why TF it was taking so long, and why I wasn't getting any milk. Went to let the dog out, and I walked out instead, and left my dog inside. Blew on my cereal to cool it down. The very first time I got high, my lovely friend told me you'll know when you've had enough, so of course I smoked a ton. When I wasn't moving, it felt like time had stopped. I had no idea what was going on. If I moved though, I was completely fine. I ended up dancing to no music by myself as long as I could before I went to sleep. I think I went to sleep anyway. Time wasn't working. I may have just laid there for 8 hours. I was living on my own in an apartment for the first time, and one of my first investments was a sheet, 100 doses, of acid. I was gobbling them up at an insane rate. Tolerance builds pretty quickly to acid, so by this point I wasn't seeing acid Y things anymore, but I was thinking acid Y thoughts. Like for instance, I wasn't taking trash out because I thought my building would see me hauling out a bunch of trash bags and think, that dude's got a lot of trash. He's a dirty dude. And that then they'd either kick me out or call the police on me, so I opted instead to let the trash pile up around me. I also thought I was going to be a writer for The Simpsons. Anyway, it all came to a head about 2 months into my heavy acid use. In about 8 weeks I had eaten about 80 tabs of acid. I was feeling pretty fried, and I was trying to make myself some pancakes. I had this plate that was covered in pancake batter and I thought, man, fuck this. I gave up and threw the batter covered plate into the dishwasher and turned it on. I heard click click gurgle gurgle gurgle. I walk over to check and find that I've broken the absolute shit out of my dishwasher and now there's black water pooling up at the bottom of it. The new paranoid thought was that my building would charge me to replace the dishwasher. I was freaked out until I had a master stroke of genius. What if, I thought, I just throw away all my dishes? What? Asked the last rational part of my brain, to which acid brain responded, hear me out, here's the plan. Step 1. We throw away the dishes. Then, when the apartment building asks, did you break your dishwasher? I can get real indignant and say, *WHAT, break my dishwasher. You fools. I don't even own dishes. And then I throw away all my dishes. That was several years ago, and I still haven't replaced all of them. Edit. I wish it had occurred to me yesterday to use this to plug my stand-up comedy, but for anyone that thought this was funny you can watch me do stand-up here. Sub-edit. I've officially done the filthy business of going through each comment telling me this was funny, and one guy who said it wasn't funny, and plugging my stand-up. Sorry about that. Thank you to everyone who read this. Got high, ate a bunch of jalapeno poppers. Not that weird. No, the weird part was the calendar appointment I made for myself the next morning that just said ha 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 ha. Jaime apparently predicted the right time for my morning bowel movement, and as those little jalapeno poppers burned again on the way out, he reached out across time and space to laugh at sober me about it. Every time I get stoned, I just want to confine myself to the smallest space possible. It's not a fear or anxiety thing. Stoned me genuinely feels more comfortable under a table or bed, or even inside a cardboard box. This one time, bought fresh fish at the wholesale fish market. When you've been partying all night until dawn and you see sober people in action, the fish market is really fascinating. When you wake up the next morning afternoon and thirst lets you open the fridge and you see a shitload of silvery eels, you cannot really relate to that fascination anymore. I stared at ants outside for a solid hour and a half, just going about their business. I'm not too fond of insects sober, but when I'm high they're so goddamn interesting. I thought that if I became rich, I'd keep all my money in pennies to prevent people from stealing it. Also once tried roasting a hot dog with no stick, just holding the wiener in my hand over an open flame. It did not work. I started to get random sensations all over my body. The inside of my left thigh was getting really warm, and I had to keep checking every few minutes to see I hadn't pissed myself. Used my phone torch to find my phone in the dark. I ate mushrooms by myself, and some guy dropped off pizza at my house, so I signed for it. Only thing is, I didn't order any pizzas. My boyfriend came home and said, "You ordered pizza?" It had been sitting on the table for hours. I thought I dreamt it. Whoops. The guy came to the very wrong house. But I did tip him handsomely, so I did the right thing. I was thinking about how great my friends are and how pretty they are, and decided I should talk to myself like that too. So I tried on all these clothes I feel self-conscious in and gave myself a bunch of compliments. Standing by the sink, weeping as I tore into the most juicy and delicious whole ripe mango. In my mind I thought it was some sort of alien creature, and it was giving its life in exchange for my pleasure. I thought it was the most beautiful selfless act anything had ever done for me, and was overcome by emotion. I must have looked like a goddamn weirdo, but it was still a beautiful moment. Edit. I remember a roommate coming into the kitchen and asking what was wrong, because I was crying and whispering thank you to the fruit. In no particular order. Woke up to the remote control for the TV inside of the fridge from the night before. Let out of autoplay for so long that I was eventually watching fire truck drag racing and everyone's favorite. Watched hours upon hours of the Yule log TV show with my friends. So much that we knew when the hand was going to come into the scene to move the logs around. Went to White Castle to get food for everyone after we smoked. We all had the same order, 2 double cheese sliders and an order or mozzarella sticks. When I gave her my order I didn't just say that I wanted 8 double cheese sliders in total. I repeated the 2 double cheese sliders and mozzarella sticks 4 times. By the time I got to the end of my order the cashier sounded so defeated. I still cringe thinking back to that moment, but it's also one of my funniest smoke stories. I was fucked up looking for my hotel in Atlantic City. Somehow got there and woke up the next morning to just hotel being in the search bar of my Spotify. That was my best effort. Got high in a soccer field after dark. Laying down, looking up at the stars, I suddenly felt a spin so bad that I grabbed onto the grass cause I swear I was going to call off the planet. Years ago before the internet, was having a panic attack while high, wanted to connect with the Ask a Nurse hotline, but couldn't remember the number, kept calling 411 asking them to connect me to 1-800-NURSE-ME. I was holding my cat next to the sink and somehow he just looked like he really wanted to get in the sink and take a bath. So I turned on the water just a trickle and edged him closer and closer to the faucet whispering to him, "Hey buddy, don't you wanna take a dip?" In my mind he totally did and was just too nervous to admit it. In real life, he's a cat and cats don't like water. So if you could have looked in on this scene you would have seen me high as hell, murmuring to the cat and trying to dunk him in the sink. All the while he is frantically clawing me to shreds trying to escape, and I'm not noticing in my single-minded pursuit of finally letting him experience water. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes and silvers, pals. Here's a chunkster himself. I was trying to get food delivered to me, but I just googled the word deliver for 40 minutes. Edit. Wow, I get to say the best words ever. Thank you for the silver and gold, kind strangers. This made my night. I bought a cowgirl outfit on Amazon and learned to play 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. I'm a guy by the way. I remember thinking that I was going to be some crazy successful cover artist with that gimmick. The cowgirl outfit doesn't fit BTW. Not even close. The first time I smoked keef was my 21st birthday after already drinking way too much. The fade was so intense that I couldn't walk. My friends put me in my bed, but for some reason I felt the need to not be in my room. So with my non-functioning legs, I crawled on my elbows down the hall and down a staircase to an empty bedroom where I laid on the floor in the dark for 30 minutes. Then I got uncomfortable laying on the ground, so I miraculously regained control of my legs and managed to remove the door to the bedroom to lay on. Pretty solid mattress, if you like yours firm. One time my eye was really dry, so I stopped drinking my water and started slowly pouring water into my eye, all of it, while I was sitting on my friend's bed, leaving just a bit, so I could still have one gulp. I remember a while ago I was stoned playing WoW. I was in the middle of Stormwind just holding the W and D key, running in circles for a solid 15 to 20 minutes laughing my ass off. I then somehow thought I discovered a game-changing feature, so I started up a screen recorder and set my mic up, and talking absolute nonsense that was completely incoherent. In the middle of one of my sentences, after I stopped laughing so much I went hold on. Wait, I think I just thought of something else to try out, and I got quiet and my character stopped running in circles. Suddenly, I held the W and A key and started running in the opposite direction. I instantly started laughing my ass off and did that for another 20 minutes. Before we moved from California, my wife wanted to see me get really high just once. She'll never make that mistake again. I literally was incapable of not talking. My ad brain was running at 200 miles per hour and the filter to my mouth was disengaged. I played Rocket League and my sole purpose was to hit the other team's cars, nothing else. Edit. Bonus. I also watched 50 Shades Freed and ate a medium Domino's pizza and sandwich by myself. Every 5 or so minutes I would pause the movie to laugh at how shitty it was, but I saw the whole thing. Walked up to the bathroom mirror with a flashlight, shined it on my eyes, and studied the color patterns of my eyes for about 20 minutes straight, and singing loudly at the same time. I decided to BBQ a tri-tip I had been marinating for a couple days and set up my camper grill in the pickup bed of my truck while it was raining outside. Halfway through the grilling process I thought to myself, maybe this isn't the best idea. So I decided to finish the cook indoors, but my dumbass removed the mini propane tank before the flame was completely out. That was a terrible mistake. I cold easily burned my face off had I not immediately jumped out of the pickup bed like an action movie stunt double. I ended up belly flopping onto the wet grass and to make things even better I fucking landed in dog shit. Who gave this 3 golds? That guy did a weird thing. Make sure to like and subscribe. Here are some more videos.